Y'all know the vibes, man. It's the Lucky Libra in the building. Saturn's favorite nephew, the hood's pastor and guru. Can I get an ashe? Ashe. All right, now, listen, man. Part 2 of Saturn season is in commencement, okay? And the first full moon of 2024 is here. So let's get into it because this is an intense full moon. And I'm going to explain why it's an intense full moon. This is an intense full moon because, for one, there ain't no sextiles, there ain't no conjunctions, there ain't no there ain't no trines. So we don't really got positive alignments supporting us at the moment. And there's pretty much planets in every fixed sign besides Scorpio. So the fact that the moon is in Leo, the fixed signs are already on the hot seat. All right, on my Scorpio dominance, Taurus dominance, and my Aquarius dominance. Not so much Aquarius because they got the power of that sun right now. But with all that being said, guys, I like to theme this full moon. It's time to embrace the concentration. Okay, when we talk about fixed signs, we're talking about the ability to lock energy in a perspective, lock energy with direction, and keep it sustained. So we went through part 1 of Saturn season, Capricorn season, starting a whole bunch of new systems, programs, blueprints to bring security and stability into our life, whether we were doing it consciously, intentionally, or we were manifesting situations where things in our life were becoming restricted. All right, different boundaries were being placed upon us for us to understand that we need to develop a new system for our reality. Now it's time to sustain all of that. All right, by this point, we should all know what are the things, the people, places, and things, habits, mentalities that are going to allow us to have more of a sturdier foundation in life. All right, Saturn season, and this full moon in Leo is definitely here to refine all of those traits right now. All right, so we got the full moon peaking at 5 degrees in Leo on the 25th. All right, guys. Now, first of all, before we even understand what a full moon in Leo means, okay, the full moon itself is always going to push us into a phase where we need to spiritually cleanse and detox energies out of our space. What energies are these that we're going to have to detox and cleanse out of our space? Most likely people, places, and things that play out as burdens or responsibilities that we don't want in our life anymore, that's somewhat suppressing us and holding us back from our potential and from evolving and growing in some type of shape or form. All right, so everybody needs to know what house they have Leo in because that's where we're doing the filtering at, okay, to help us be able to prosper, thrive, experience, explore, create new things within Aquarius season. All right, so we got the focus is Aquarius season, but we need to filter out the Leo house, which is the opposite sign of that axis, okay? So we could go ahead and go through our Aquarius travels with clarity, family, okay? So we don't have to keep jumping back here to worry about this and worry about that. No, I handled business during the full moon. Now, a full moon in Leo, guys, we're basically going to be having this deep subconscious dive around this time to understand what traumas, insecurities, habits, all right, partnerships, social environments, you got to take that into account because Aquarius is an air sign. You know, when it comes to all of these things, how are these things holding us back or suppressing our creative endeavors, our creative aspirations, and also blocking the connection we have with the inner child? We know these are things that Leo represents. Leo owns the stage. Leo knows exactly how it wants the curtains, the lights, what music it wants when it comes out. So if we don't understand how we own the stage in our own life, this is a time for us to understand how to get to a space where we're confident with all things dealing with self and creative expression, family. It's also very important to keep in mind, guys, Leo's ruled by the sun. So you can have no Leo placements, but your sun sign is connected to your Leo house. So in some type of shape or form, we're supposed to be an expression. We're supposed to represent some form of an expression of our Leo house, okay? For example, I'm a Libra sun in the 9th house, but I have Leo in my 7th house, all right? So I'm always expressing and communicating things and being some type of representation example of things dealing with relationship examples, whether it's a good example or a bad example, but in some way I know my self-identity, all right, and how people see me in the world and the energy I naturally express is always going to be associated with things with relationships, but because I'm a Libra, it's just going to be a double whammy with those things. Now, if you have any planets between 3 to 7 degrees of a fixed sign, right? 3 to 7 degrees in Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, or Taurus, you will be impacted by this energy the most, okay? And you guys are the fixed signs, so you're the ones that's supposed to understand and also be the example to the world on what consistency looks like, okay? So if you're slacking on your game when it comes into consistency and holding concentration and focus with certain things, it could be a little bit of a turbulent ride for my fixed sign, so we got to get it together right now before we run into any intense peaks with that, so you guys can continue to be the example for the world with those things. I need to be an example for a brother like me, because man, that C word, woo, Ooh, that consistency word is something, ain't it, right? All right, but anyways, all right, enough of my woes. Let's get into some aspects. Moon in Leo opposed Sun in Aquarius. How does my creativity, right, Leo, or the things that I have awareness of, sunlight awareness, play a part in the external realm? Or how can I use these things, all right, into the world? How does my social presence and my social activity and my partnerships reflect or affect my creative aspirations or creative endeavors? Questions to ask self around this time. Moon in Leo square Jupiter in Taurus. I love this square right here, and even though we know squares are intense, I love this square right here because I know it's gonna tweak the mentality of things for a lot of people. When you have the moon in Leo dealing with our creative presence, right? But then we got Jupiter in Taurus, the knowledge and wisdom we've been gaining, understanding things, dealing with stability and security, and how our values refine our sense of security in this realm. This is going to be a time where people are going to start to realize with this square how their creativity can simply become things that help them build stability in their lives, and it's that simple. When you go out in the world, family, and you look at a business, you look at a building, you look at a car, this was somebody's idea. This all started off as somebody's idea, as somebody's sense of creativity, and now it's a brand. Now it's a business, and now it's something that's providing stability and security in their life. So it's that simple, guys. Our ideas can be monetized. Our ideas can be fruitful, and this alignment, this square is trying to push us to get that together. All right, guys, this is probably the most intense aspect within this full moon transit, but moon in Leo opposed Pluto in that Capricorn Aquarius cusp. How does my attachments, my traumas, my insecurities, things that I can't let go of, that probably make me feel good, but I know it ain't good. Hallelujah. That's a word right there, family. I'm sorry. I be forgetting my handkerchief when I'm up here. All right. Sister Marianne, can you give me my handkerchief? All right. Thank you. You know, Pastor be talking. But how do these things suppress, neglect, restrict our creative awareness and our creative gifts? It's that simple, family. So remember, it's a full moon. Things get intense around this time. And when we're talking about attachment, I've been screaming the word attachment since the beginning of 2024, family. We got to get on top of these things. We got to be able to identify and acknowledge these cycles in our life. And ain't nobody going to save us but ourselves, all right? I was finna cuss right there, but I caught myself, y'all. I caught myself. But seriously, guys, that Pluto energy hits the moon, and it makes us very intense about changing and transforming things. So we want to already get into the alignment of identifying these things so we don't have to, utilize extreme energies or take extreme measures to change things when we already know what cycles we're in, things that we need to detach from, and we could just get along with the get along. All right, gang? Moon in Leo in conjunct Venus in Capricorn, shining light on the reality of our values and love matters, family. Venus just got into Capricorn. She ain't playing no games. She ain't got the time. Literally, she ain't got the time when it comes into things dealing with her love matters. All right? And when it comes into the things we love, we like, it's time for us to see the reality of how these things are playing a part in our life. And this is the alignment that's going to get that awareness manifested around this time. And then lastly, moon in Leo in conjunct Saturn in Pisces, okay? Learning to look and embrace spirituality and our creativity as tools to build. Saturn in Pisces is all about that, but when we get a full moon in Leo transit, that's one of the most creatively inclined signs in the zodiac. It creates that combination of influence where we start looking at creativity in general, seeing how we're responding to the creative gifts that we have, and understanding how these are things that, once again, can help us build stability in our life, but also because it's a full moon and we're detoxing and filtering energies out, we're also seeing what things we have to place restrictions on and boundaries on Saturn to help us be in an environment where we're concentrated and focused. Some of us we got to work on that first. Before we even talk about getting concentrated and focused on anything, we got to work on creating the environment that supports what we're trying to be concentrated and focused on. All right, but that's what the full moon is here for. Like I said, fixed signs, you're on the hot seat. Okay, my Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus dominance. Fire signs should feel very empowered around this time. Okay, you are some of the guys that's leading the way with these things and should be encouraging others, to step up to the plate and embrace the creative gifts and tools that they have. All right. So when I say this is an intense full moon, family, look at the sign that's opposite from Leo, Aquarius, and then look at the signs that are in conjunct, which y'all know I like to call the almost ops, Capricorn and Pisces. These are the only signs that are making contact with this full moon, all right? Because we got planets in those signs. So there's going to be some friction. There's going to be some resistance in some type of shape or form. But we're spiritually ahead of the curve. And I will be going more in depth in church. There's a good chance if you're seeing this right now, you could go ahead and watch the replay of church, or I'm live at the moment. Peace, gang.